Are we ready? Am I ready? Think I'm ready. You know, when you get ready to record a video, you want everything to be perfect. Like, you get the camera going and you check your audio, you check your video, see what angle is it the camera pointing in. Is it pointing this way? Is it pointing that way? Is everything clear? Is everything okay in the background? Like, is there not any naked people, that you won't see in the background or anything that, I would be embarrassed to say that, oh, that was on camera. So, but apparently, if you stream on, certain platforms, it doesn't really matter what you do anymore. We see topless people and all different type of things that happen that kind of seep through the cracks. But hey, I'm not here to talk about anybody else. I digress, of course. But so let me introduce myself as if I have to. If you've been subscribed to this channel, then you know who I am. And if you don't know who I am, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't, because it's not like I'm a real big streamer. I'm Nichelle D. Some call me Nichelle, some call me D, and everything under the sun when it comes to butchering that name right there. So I am a former streamer on Twitch and Kick, even though I've only streamed on Kick like 3 times, to be honest with you. So the majority of my time streaming was over on Twitch from November of 2020 all the way to about October of this year. I recently walked away from streaming completely, and we are coming up on about almost 2 months of me not streaming, which is the longest time period ever. And I have no regrets. I am happy with my decision. I wouldn't change it for anything, and it's definitely, for the best for me and for my family, etc. So if you're interested in hearing, why I decided to quit streaming, then there's a video on this channel saying it's finished. I'm finished. I'm done. Something like that. I'll put it in the description of this video. It's one of the most viewed videos on this channel, which I'm kind of wondering why, but I guess everybody wants to hear the thoughts of an individual who they used to watch, who decides that they want to just stop for whatever reason. So I put a tweet out earlier today talking about me dropping this video and being transparent about some of the things I've done on Twitch. I promise none of them are bad, but some of them you may have questions about. And if there's something I don't answer in this video, comment down below, and I will try to get into depth with whatever the question may be. But I'm gonna try to answer the key points, those type of questions within this video. I don't know how long it's gonna be, so if it's long, you know me. If you have been to my streams and you already know what to expect, and I got a really good friend. He's a streamer over on Twitch called Retro Nate. I would text him and tell him, or a voice text and say, hey, this isn't going to be that long of a voice text, and it ends up being about 15 minutes. And he just laughs and chuckles like, yeah, that means I better sit down, because if he thinks it's not going to be that long. But yeah, these videos tend to be a little drawn out when I'm sitting here telling stories and just giving in depth about me and my life and my perspectives and stuff like that. So I want to talk about how I got views. So if you go to, and I'm talking about during my peak, which was probably around the summer to fall of 2021. And a lot of 2022, we kind of started dropping off at the latter end of 22, going into 23. So what I did to get views, so I can tell you straight up, I didn't buy anything. I didn't do any view botting. I didn't cheat or anything like that. I can't stand dishonesty and cheating. So I'm like, for what? Like, why would you cheat at this? Do you really want to feel that important that you would cheat to convince people that I got a crowd? Whoa, but you got like 100, 300 people in your chat and nobody talking. And I've seen a lot of streamers do that. People that I know who view bot, and I'm not making this video to stir any strife and to point out people, but let's just say, some people probably do the same thing, and if we know them and there's a mutual connection, then you probably can connect the dots, okay? So for me, how did I get views? I did a little bit of research in 2021 because when I decided to do this, I didn't want to just come into it blind. I didn't know a lot about streaming, so I wanted to learn. I wanted to know what was effective, what was not effective, and all of these different things. So that meant I had to study habits, tendencies, tags. I had to study time zones. Like, if it's one thing about streaming, I learned was like the difference between different time zones, which I didn't really know a lot about prior to doing this because I didn't have a reason to. But when you're trying to like network with specific people, you need to learn like this person streams specific time. That's 3 hours behind me, or this person streams Eastern. That's like an hour ahead of me. And like so. Some people stream over in Australia and I don't know how many hours they are behind, like a lot. And in the UK, I think they're behind like 7 or 8 hours. So you get the picture. So I learned a lot with that. So studying different time zones. So for me, I decided that I would do what a lot of people in America are unable to do, and that is stream in the daytime, preferably the morning, which would pretty much consist of between 8 to 10 a.m. So I would always stream somewhere between that, like starting time between those time periods, because most of your competition is at work. So you want to be seen, you want to be as exclusive as possible, and you want people to notice you. And it's really hard to get noticed when you have so many people streaming at the same time. Like you're an ant, like in a huge village, when it is 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Like, my personal opinion is that streaming at night is, if you're trying to grow, is a mistake. It is very, very difficult to be seen at night because at that time, a lot of people who work regular 9 to 5s, which I don't work a regular 9 to 5, I work for myself. That's when they're streaming. So for me, being able to have the advantage of making my own schedule, I was able to stream in the morning and not really have to fight with anybody to be seen. In fact, when you're streaming in the morning, the people who actually stream at night like to watch streams. Like, imagine that, like they're watching streams while they're at work on the clock. And I remember so many people would come watch me, just, hey, I got you up, or I'm on the clock, but I got about 10 minutes. I just wanted to come check you out, etc. And that right there brought in a lot more views versus me streaming at night, because I actually compared the two, like me streaming at night versus me streaming in the daytime. The morning and the daytime was like completely different. Like, the views were much higher in the morning. Like, I'm talking like close to 40, almost nearly 50 viewers. And a lot of this was without raids, or if there were raids, just small raids, but some of them weren't. They were just completely organic, and there was really no raids, because you got to remember, a lot of the people that I follow are in America, and a lot of them go to work. Not all of them, but a lot of them go to work in the daytime. So they would be able to visit, and then people over in the United Kingdom, around the time I stream, between that 9 and 10, 8 and 10 o'clock time frame, it's the afternoon for them, like 2, 3 o'clock, and they're watching streams. And that's another disadvantage. If you choose to stream at night, your crowd in the UK is knocked out, like they are asleep. So you won't get them to come into your stream because they're asleep. So you do it during the daytime, like the morning. Not only will you get viewers from, people who are at work, just trying to like get through the day, utilizing you to kill some time, you'll also get that traffic from the UK who is just kind of, I don't know if they call a 9 to 5 over there, or maybe they do. Well, they just get off of work or they're home and they tune into you too, because a lot of UK streamers and viewers like to watch American streamers as well. So I know that right there helped me tremendously. And because before that, I was only averaging like 10, maybe 11, 12. But when I, did my research and started streaming earlier in the day, viewers went up. It went up to 15, it went up to 20, it went up to 30, 40. It just grew. Like it grew a lot. And I will say that streaming at that time it's not easy. Like I'm speaking as if it's easy, but it's not easy because I'm having to like manipulate some things like on my schedule to make that happen. And around that time, I wasn't being very smart, nor was I being very responsible. And I've talked about that in past videos as well, if you want to check that out. And let's just say I put my desires to want to grow as a streamer before important priorities like work. Like I would push work like further into like the day, and just so I can stream. And to some of you that might sound okay, like, well, what's the problem? Well, there were a lot of factors that made that a problem, and then I had to stop doing that at some point, and then we just eliminated morning streams altogether. I've talked to other streamers who feel the same way, and they think that morning streams are definitely a win if you can do them. I definitely would do it. Like if you're somebody who works regular 9 to 5 and you have a day like when you're off, try to stream in the morning and see if it works for you. Like, not just because this works for me doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. But it worked for me because that's just, what I did. I created an environment that was positive, that was inspiring. I captured the attention of people with talking points. And that's something else I kind of want to drive home. A lot of you streamers, you just jump straight into your game and you don't take any time to learn your audience. And you don't take any time to tell your audience about you. They're people at the end of the day. They have a conscience. They have interest. They want to know things and they want to learn things. And I feel like if you're somebody that's not, utilizing you're just chatting, then you're missing out on creating bonds and loyalty in your viewers. Because my just chatting segments were called Initial's Key Points. And it was a segment that I would take a particular subject that was relatable in one way, shape, or form. And I would take about an hour and talk about it. And I would go back and forth with people in the crowd. And, usually when people see that there's, here's a channel and people are congregating, new people are more prone to coming in and talking too, because they see other people talking. Because, sometimes you go into a channel and nobody talking, you don't want to talk. Like the viewers don't want to talk if they don't see anybody else talking. But never had a problem with getting my viewers to talk. And no, and make no mistake, there's work that has to be done. You can stream in the daytime and this might not do nothing for you. You still have to bring a product worthy of watching. So if you have the product and you have the skills and, the talking, the verbiage, all you need is just the exposure and the viewership. And the lack of traffic, which comes from streaming in the morning time. That's just my opinion, though, because that's what worked for me. And I know that a lot of people don't have the ability to do that. But again, if you do, go for it. Something else I wanted to touch on is what low views did to my confidence. So I'll tell you a little story. Earlier on in my journey, this was long before. This was like before the affiliate days. I was still not an affiliate at the time. And I remember I popped in a game. It was Yakuza Kiwami, and I booted up the stream, and I was playing, and it probably was less than 10 minutes or so, and I'm live. I didn't see anybody come into the stream. Nobody was talking. My viewer count still said 1, and then I just remember cutting it off. Like I just stopped it, and I ended the stream because I felt like nobody was going to be there. One thing that I learned is that you got to give people time to get to your stream. Like, it's rare that people just flock into a channel like all together. Like, you're not going to get your peak views after the first minute or 5 minutes. It's just not, unless you're some celebrity or something, it's just not going to happen. Like, it takes time for that to occur. Usually, after about a good 30 minutes, almost an hour, to me, that is when a stream is just getting warmed up and you start seeing that flow of people come in. And of course, there's going to be fluctuations to where it goes like this and comes back down and et cetera as time goes on when you stream. So, but anyway, there were times where I did not meet the standard that I felt like I should have met. And, there was a time I was averaging 40. And I was really proud of that. I was happy. I was on the incline. My goal was to become Twitch partner, and I was willing to do at that time whatever I needed to do to be able to achieve that. I had been told by several other Twitch partners that I have the tools, I have the charisma, I have everything to do it. You just need to put the work in, and the work ethic definitely was there, up until, some recently, of course, when I made my decision. But there were days where I didn't perform. Like, not me, but my stream, it didn't seem to perform the way that previous streams would perform. And every single streamer understands where I'm coming from with this. Like, you will have a day where you have like 40 people come in, and then you could stream literally the next day, same time, same energy, same everything, and you could average 20, and you can average 15. Like, your views can go down. And it's not that you've done anything like to cause it to happen. That's just the nature of live streaming. Like, there's nothing we can do about that. Like, it just happens, and it's out of our control. Well, I remember how it made me feel, and it made me feel like I was failing, honestly. And I don't know why I felt like I was failing, because I knew in my heart that I was giving it 100%. I knew I was doing all I could do. I knew I was keeping content fresh, and I never changed. Like, anybody who watches me or has watched me in the past will tell you that this man is the same as he was from day one up until the day he decided to stop. So I know it wasn't something that I did on my end, but I just learned as time went on that it's just the way that it is. People's schedules are not the same every day. Like, you as a streamer, your schedule may be the same every day, but your viewers, their schedule could fluctuate. Some days they may watch you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then when Thursday comes around, they got to work, or something comes up. Some of them got kids, some of them have families, some of them have jobs, careers, some of them aren't feeling well. The things happen. Some of them have mental health issues, because a lot of viewers feel pressured to come into streams a lot. And they just, sometimes they just like, what, screw it. I'm not going to a stream. Like I need a break. So, but it made me feel like I was a failure at certain points. And then I remember, I think it was last year. Yes, I want to say it was last year sometimes. And there was a particular stream I had. And I'm going to explain something else that's going to tie into this. So I would never look at my viewer count, like, ever. Like, I just had a terrible, terrible relationship with my viewer count. Like, I would not watch it. I just could not see. I did not want to see it. Like, my wife, on the other hand, she does not care. She has it there, and it doesn't bother her at all. Like, I wish I had that type of skin. But I would never look at the viewer count whatsoever. And I remember after my initial key point segment, my talking, my just chatting, I switched over scenes. And when you do that, you kind of get a glimpse of your dashboard over on Twitch. And when I saw what I saw, because I noticed that there wasn't a lot of people chatting, but sometimes it's like that. And you still can have a lot of people watching you, even if the chat's not really booming like that. But this particular day, a lot of people weren't chatting, and I looked at the viewer count, and it said like 6. And I was like blown away. Like, the feeling I had in that moment, I was shook. But I had to try to not show it. But I was shook in that time period. And I remember after that stream, I messaged some really good friends of mine who were also streamers. Shout out to Bearded Legend Gaming over on Twitch, the Bear Project, and Flash Carter. All these are individuals who are over on Twitch. I remember, I messaged them and told them, I said, guys, I had the lowest views I have ever had since I've been an affiliate. And that right there, I don't know, that did something to me. Like, it really made me question a lot of stuff. Like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I putting so much effort into this? Why am I putting so much of my time into this if it's only going to decline and I can't really figure out, why, or the reason that it's, going backwards? So it kind of hurt my confidence a little bit. It made me not really want to show up as much. I'm not one of those streamers that likes to say, I'm just going to keep going and going until I get to the top. At this point in time, like, I kind of had second thoughts about wanting to be an affiliate, a partner. And I didn't want to do it anymore. And I just wanted to stream. I just wanted to have fun, although I really wasn't having fun. I was more so feeling my confidence dwindling because I couldn't figure out why my views were going down. Like I said, I didn't change anything. I didn't change the games. I didn't change the conversation. I didn't change the music. Like, nothing changed. And, I remember watching and, other streamers go through the same thing. And, there are different seasons throughout the year where streamers, kind of take hits. Their numbers take hits. And some of us can handle it. Some of us can't. And I remember a lot of streamers actually voicing how upset they were and how it was really wrecking them. And a lot of them decided to just take breaks away from streaming altogether because they just couldn't handle the fact that their numbers were like going down. Again, sometimes it bothers people, sometimes it doesn't bother people, but eventually I got to a point where it didn't bother me anymore. Like, I really, really didn't care. And shout out to my wife. She is actually a really big inspiration to me when it comes to streaming and doing it for you. At one point, I remember she was pulling in quite a few people herself in her own way. And then as time went on, her views began to go down, and she never said anything. She never complained. She just enjoyed the game. And then whoever showed up, and whoever didn't show up, they just didn't show up. So, and, I kind of, I took that mentality and I applied it. And I'm like, hey, if we get up to 30, great. If we get up to 20, great. If we get 15, that's fine too. Because the fact is, there are some streamers out here who don't even who stream to their phone only, and that's it. Like, they don't have anybody to talk to. They don't even have moderators. They have nothing. So I learned, hey, don't complain. don't be upset. Don't be down about that. Just keep doing what you're doing and try to have fun. And that's what I did. So I will say, within the last months of me streaming, that I actually did have a lot of fun, because I knew in my head that I wasn't going to be doing this very long, and that it would be time to hang it up at some point, because the fun time's over. Because I'm at a point in my life right now where I can't be having too much fun. A lot of that needs to be kind of put on the back burner for some more important things. But yeah, low views definitely affected me. Like, my heart is not made of steel. Like, again, when you put so much into your craft and you feel that it's not really appreciated, it hurts. It really does. It hurts a lot. How I felt about other streamers. Honestly, when people would come to my channel and talk about their channel, because that's taboo, they say you shouldn't promote yourself in other people's channels, around other people's communities. I never, ever believed in that. I always felt like if you are a small streamer, you need help. You need people that you need to talk to. You need people you need to connect with. And if you can find some people over here in my channel, go right ahead and do it. I never looked at streamers as the enemy. Never. And to this day, I'll never understand why some streamers do this. Like, they look at other streamers as the enemy. Like, it's weird to me. It's very, very territorial over in the world of streaming. Very territorial, and it's very offensive. Like, as if you own these people. Like, people are free to watch whoever they want to watch. And I've never felt malicious towards a single streamer. I may not have agreed with a lot of streamers that I watch, and mainly because sometimes they make content that I just don't really care for. But even if that's the case, I don't. If I don't like it, I'm just not going to watch it. And I'm definitely not going to take the time to like bash anybody else either. I've never done that before. I'm pretty sure people have done it to me for whatever reason, but I don't know how, because I stayed to myself. But I just never did. Like, I never had a problem. I wanted everybody to win in their own right. I did. So one thing I could not absolutely stand was the streamers that complain. Like, you got two types though. You got one who outright complains about not getting views, about people not coming to their channel and stuff. And then you have the other kind that kind of drops it in a subliminal way. Like, they don't care, but they really do care. And there's a little bit of like shaming in there too. It's funny because we can't, I used to say this all the time on camera. Like, we can't come to every stream. We just can't. I know there's a lot of streams I've missed. Like, I sure hope that we don't like try to compare our friendships to the amount of times that we come to our streams, and some people really do. So, but for me, I've always supported other streamers, especially ones I watch, because I know how hard it is getting on camera. I know how hard it is putting yourself in front of this really messed up world, because there's a lot of trolls on Twitch. And I know how much money actually goes into doing this, because it's very expensive. I know I've paid like a lot of money for my setup, and you just want everybody to win. Those that deserve it, that is, because not everyone deserves it. Some people abuse their platform, but I digress. So the last thing I want to talk about is why I think people kept coming back. Just reoccurring viewers. Of course, all of us have our regulars, and we got those people that come to our streams no matter what. And there's those other people who just like to tune in from time to time. They may not be able to come to every single stream, but they come whenever, they're able to. And if I could give an honest answer about myself, like if I was on the outside looking at my channel, what would keep me coming back to that channel? Honestly, I feel like it was my honesty and my ability to just keep it real. Just be as authentic as possible. Before things started taking off, I always told myself, like, I'm going to be me. And people, you can either like it or not. I'm going to talk about the things I want to talk about. I'm not going to hide things. I'm just going to be me. And maybe somebody will listen. And lo and behold, there were people who actually wanted to hear some of the things in which I had to say. And I think that what happened was it intrigued people. It sure wasn't my gameplay. Like, I just was not that great of a streamer when it came to gameplay. I think anybody could tell you that. I was more of a just chatting streamer. But I really do believe people came for the conversation, the authenticity. They came for the outlook and the perspective. Because some people would actually come in the chat asking me questions, and I would try to like answer those questions in, the most educated manner as I possibly could. But I really do think people came back because of me just not hiding anything. Like a lot of streamers, they get on here and they have a mask on and they're trying to pretend to be someone that they're really not. And at some point, people see through that. They see through the nonsense. They see through the BS, and they don't want that. They don't like that. Like, nobody likes dishonesty. Like, if you're weird and nerdy, be that. There will always be a crowd for you, no matter what. If you're loud and obnoxious, be that. There'll always be a crowd for you. Like, don't be quiet if you know you're not a quiet person. So, people are not stupid. We can't insult the intelligence of our viewers. I've had people come to my channel and say that they feel comfortable, they feel calm, they feel safe. And, that right there, hearing comments like that kept me going, like, for a really, really long time, honestly. But, I say all of that to say that I don't have any regret streaming. I learned a whole lot, especially about video production and audio and stuff. I make a lot of different content over on my other channel, which I'll put a link in the description of this video if you're interested in checking that out as well. And, I had fun for 3 years. Again, I didn't make a lot of enemies. There were some people that I kind of bump heads with a little bit, but nothing to the degree of like starting like major beef or anything of the sort. I was pretty cool. Still am. Always will be. And I don't like conflict. I'm not going to run away from it, but I don't like it. Let's just put it like that. So, but anyway, I know we are like 30 minutes into this video, and I know I've talked and talked and talked. I hope that you really enjoyed this segment. Like, I really, really, truly do. And maybe you learned something. Maybe I said something that sparked an interest, or maybe you want to try something like one of the strategies I gave earlier in the video, or maybe you can relate to like having low views, how that made you feel. Like, I would love to hear your thoughts down below as far as, my take and my perspective from being a streamer on Twitch, former streamer on Twitch. God bless all of you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.